Hello everyone, it's Farket here. This is part 2 of the FAQ. So let's go. A clip says, hey Farket, what do you think about doing graphics comparison on older versions of the game right now? Now you're familiar with the patches and I've seen version 0.2, 16. I honestly don't know. I think the graphics are a lot better, but there was a shine effect back in the old game that was really cool. I think we should get the option to turn it on and off. I think the reason they might have got rid of it is that it probably caused the game to chunk too much, but it would take too long for me to do that. I just don't have the time. Snake Doctor asks, fuck it, love your channel, you're going fast. Cheers, appreciate that. Do you think we could see more than 30 more months of public alpha releases? Even if you, so what would you like to implement in the game in that period? I think the game's going to be released soon, very soon, because I've noticed that the patches aren't so much content involved, but rather fixing things that are wrong with the game. Honestly, that's what I think they should be focusing on, fixing the broken crap, then they can add other stuff later on. If you experiment with a lot of the building in this game, you know that there's a lot of potential in this game already that you just don't know about. But yes, I think it will be coming out soon. Oliver asks, my strength won't rise, I'm at 10 strength at the moment, had an arrow going down, so I chopped some trees. Arrow gone now, but as soon as I cut down 7 trees, it goes back up again. Already tried waiting a day, and it didn't help. My weight is at 160, not going up or down. Can you please help me? PS, I'm from Germany. Guten Tag. Yes, what I would recommend is 8 trees per day. Eat 2 meats per day. So when your hunger's at 50 exactly, because you're at 10 strength, you've got no threshold. Yeah, you got to wait till your hunger's at 50 for it to work properly. And drink fresh water only. It sounds like you've been cutting more for your strength, and for your strength to get down to 10, you've been cutting down more than 10 trees per day, and you haven't been eating enough meat. For your weight to drop down to 160, I would assume that you haven't been eating snacks or consuming snacks or soda, and what you've probably been doing instead is eating blueberries and stuff like that, or vegetarian type diet. That would probably do it. So that's what I could recommend. That should fix it. And it will take a very long time. So depending on how important that game is to you, you might want to consider starting again. An example of how long that will take, it will take you at least 50 days to get back to it. Nathan asks, I have one question. It's about the custom roof. Every time it rains, I get cold and wet and I have to stand by my fire in the house. I've got a 2-story house. Yeah, the ceilings in this are shit. I'm just going to say shit because rain does come through. I don't know why. I think it's dumb. It might have something to do with using custom placement or auto placement. I don't know. But yes, water does come through and there's no real solution to it. Maybe you could do a double roof. I've thought about doing that myself to test that, but unfortunately it's just a bug. Custom floors don't work as custom roofs. I don't know. It's dumb. Sorry, I can't help. Mad Max Siri asks, when will this game be released? I predict about year 3000. I think it was an episode of Futurama. Fry went to the future and he's seen that the forest was just coming out of alpha release. So yeah, but honestly, I've got no idea. I think it will be soon though. Dark Fuzz, I've been playing this game for a short time with some friends who've really helped us selling the items and all that sort of stuff. Cheers. Thanks for that. My only question is the best way of getting armor. I've been having trouble with my retarded friends. Oh shit, that is funny. I know the exact same feeling, dude. Contain yourself. So any help would do that. Okay, so tell your friends to stop fighting, build off, use traps instead to kill them. So if you don't have to fight them, traps are going to be the better way. And you can use the bones to get more armor. Hopefully that helps. Ty Brewer, there's questions about the cannibal taming video. Otherwise keeping the hostility level up from the start. Though there may be one issue that would prevent you to test it. It seems to only work in normal mode. I don't think it works. I think it would work in all modes from what I've seen in the game files. The only issue is it just won't last very long. And I covered it a bit earlier on. It's a band-aid fix, to be honest. Block off the patrol routes. I think you can have much more luck there. Gumboot Gambler asks, can you assign hotkeys or macros? I was thinking for one of the show overlay icons, it'd be nice to shut off. Okay, yeah, you can use hotkeys. I think you can download programs for it. I use Logitech's G keys. It works for me, but if you haven't got Logitech, you probably use something else. Apparently there is programs out there that you don't require the software for the model or keyboard you got. But yes, you can do it. As the show overlay icons, try and keep them turned off as much as you you can. I don't see the point in having them on all the time. It's only when you're lost, you just switch them on. As for moving the save, yes, you can. You just move it into the multiplayer save file. You just move it into the multiplayer save folder. It's not difficult at all, and it should work. I try to keep my fullness around 65%, cut down mini trees per day, and it doesn't get any higher than about 24. It's hella annoying. If it's not going any higher, it means you're not cutting out enough trees. It's 8 trees per day, bare minimum. That's providing you're already in the 5 tree count. Try 9 trees per day. That will keep you above it. And make sure you're eating meat, 2 meats per day at least. If your fullness around 65, try dropping it down to 55 when you're eating. It might be a threshold problem as well. Okay, the next one, I've seen, I think you could make some small lore videos about items you're fighting, for example, around the yacht. I'm not very well versed in the story, so I don't think I should be covering videos on it because it will most likely be anecdotal or what my opinion of what the story is. I think the story is a big puzzle and you just got to put the pieces together and interpret how you think it looks. I don't think there's one clear-cut way of the story. Corey Rees, will you be building a Christmas tree effigy this holiday season? That's good. Hopefully, I might do that. That's actually a good idea. Neville Collector, how to make the caves less spooky and other means, like another source, actually something. Try color grading or something else. I think I need to do an independent video on this one. I've got an idea for what could fix your problem, but it's too hard to explain in this. I would pronounce your name, but I'm afraid I would get it wrong, so. But yeah, what's your theory behind the forest and what do you personally think about it? I love every aspect of it. The theory behind the forest, like that the story hasn't actually been told to us, and I like things to be drip fed to me like this. I mean, it's like Game of Thrones is probably what I would associate it with, is that Game of Thrones is just stories that are constantly being drip fed information. They're not just coming out and telling us a lot of what's going on. And that's what I think is great about the forest, and that's what they're doing. My theory behind it is, it's a bit hard with the whole theory behind it because there's just so much to it. There's so many little stories within the plot line, but I think it's got something to do with aliens, to be honest. We don't have that technology on Earth. And the technology does look like aliens. We'll see. Leo Hit asks, how does furtivity work? Can you remain unnoticed forever? I'm just going to actually look up that word. In a way that attempts to avoid notice or attention secretively. That's actually a really cool word. Actually, thanks for using that word. It's a good one. Can you remain unnoticed forever? Well, yeah, pretty much. Just never leave. Build on an island, never leave it. I'll never see you. But I think the game mechanics would eventually make them come to you regardless if they've seen you or not. Honestly, block patrol routes further enough away from your base and you'll never see them. Just don't build in a big open area like I did in my playthrough. Aiming Potato, also somewhere in the 140 days into the game and there's still no 140 days in, Cannibals won't be coming. I got no idea whether that might be. Headlamps, I don't know. Honestly, if you're building that much, maybe there's too many assets in the game and they can't load any more Cannibals. I got no idea. Black Spider-Man asks, question, how do you aim with the bow very well? Aim with the bow is just practice, and they've changed it recently, so it's required me to practice more. And how do you immediately bring up the blueprint? That's holding down control after you've placed it. Doesn't work all the time, but it's pretty good. Where are some good spots? Good spots is very, very objective. Is where you put the crane to this video. That was on the end of the peninsula. That's why I don't like calling the game Peninsula, because it's got a peninsula within a peninsula. That's where it is, where that big tree is on the end. It's not the best place. It's too high up. If you want to build zip lines, you're kind of screwed. Watch the video on the fertile lands. That's where I'd suggest. Xeno Vistas, just 2 ideas I think would be cool. A dog companion. I would disagree, mainly because I think something like that would be very hard to do. As we're seeing with Fallout 4, they a AAA game developer, and they tried to do dog meat and they screwed it up. It's just too difficult. And what if the dog dies? We don't have stim packs in this game. I like the concept, I just think it's too difficult for them to do. And making peace with the cannibals, yeah. I don't think the cannibals are actually human, so there's my issue. I actually think I've got a theory that they were breeded for war, so I don't think peace is in their vocabulary. Cool idea, but I don't know. Don't know if it fits with the story. Shintaro, hopefully I pronounced that right. What AI tweaks do you think would make the cannibals more fearsome as enemies? I'm not sure, to be honest. I think they're fearful. I think they're quite scary at the start, but then you become desensitized. Maybe they could throw body parts at you. I think that might be a cool thing. Just to like, Kennels going, this is what we do to people like you. But apart from that, I got no idea. After seeing your Stranded Deep video, I was curious to see what other video games you enjoy playing. I haven't been playing any other games at the moment. I'm actually not that much of a gamer. Favorite ice cream? So I got no idea. They're all good. Vanilla. It's very neutral. Do you have any pets? No. And do you pour milk on your cereal first? Yeah, I do. I had to think about that one. Eerily Dark Watery says, do you know how modding in this game would work? I've got no idea. I look through the game files a lot and I struggle with it. I've never learnt about coding and that sort of stuff, but that's literally what it is. As for importing this game to make more advanced mods, I don't think that will happen until the game's at its full release, because then you'd have access to changing textures and that sort of stuff. So it will happen, just not yet. Eknam, been with me for a long time. I really like the creative building vids you've been doing recently, summarizing little tips for doing helps the gameplay. Also my question, what do you think about the direction devs are heading with the game? Console versions headed. I'll just answer one at a time. Yeah, I've been focused on creative building because I've actually got time to do it. Beforehand, I was just getting trees all the freaking time because of the strength stat. So it's been good. Also, question with this direction. I think they're going in the right direction, providing they're not listening to the community too much. This is their game, not the community's. And I trust that they're going to make the right decision. Game console has been hinted, which will hit the masses. Yes, that will happen. I'm not sure it's good because of the difficulty being watered down heavily by the vocal minorities. Well, that's going to happen regardless. There's vocal minorities in the PC community. Can't be too judgmental of console peasants. No, they're all right. Just hopefully they don't complain too much, I guess. Yeah, I'm afraid this will become worse with more people playing it. I think they need to keep the difficulty set. Hard survival mode should have never been reduced in difficulty. It should have been kept. And what they should have done is made normal mode easier for people, or maybe a piss weak mode. They can't keep watering down things for the players that want it harder. So I think that's the solution. Birkin asks, what is the best weapon for killing cannibals and what's the best upgrade material for the machete and the modern axe? Go 15 teeth, go 14 teeth and 15 glass to the modern axe so you can attach a fire upgrade. And machete, 15 teeth, 15 glass. Bloody Shames asks, is there any way to stop tree destruction with a building on it? Also, what mods do you use? I play with building destruction on, I just don't allow them to get close to the stuff I want to protect. If you build walls and that sort of stuff, cannibals can't actually just destroy defensive walls. They just don't do anything to them. You can repair them in a matter of seconds. It's mutants that actually take down the walls. Cannibals can damage them, but mutants actually destroy them. And also, there's a way to any way to stop tree destruction with a building on top of it. You just got to turn building destruction mode off while you cut down the tree. I think that's what you're asking. As for mods, I just use ultimate cheat menus sometimes when I'm making patch videos, but apart from that, I don't use mods. I haven't been using any mods in my playthrough. Mr. Keegan asks, I would like to know building the snow biome. Snow always falls from over the roof. How can I fix this? You can't. Maybe try building another roof going the opposite way, but I think it's just part of the graphics. It happens with rain too. Question, any guides on all types of cannibal, where they spawn, late game, strengths, weaknesses? They're all pretty much cut from the same cloth. They're not much different from each other, except for the skinnies and the bigger mutants. There's no real difference. And the female mutants are different as well. No real guide, just freaking keep hitting them until they die. There's nothing real special about them. Vojim, can you give someone a multiplayer save, but everyone keeps their progress? Try this, my mate. I'm actually not sure about this. You should try the Reddit or the Steam community guide thing, because that's like game file stuff. But I'm pretty sure you can't, because if the saves are linked to the game file, it's silly, but yeah. Chicken Pitches, I have some questions. What was your first time playing the forest like, and were you super scared, and did you do well? It was good. I really enjoyed it. Were you super scared? Roughly. I don't get scared very easy. And did you do well? No, I did awful. I built on a patrol route and shit went downhill. But I survived. It's just, everything just kept getting destroyed. There's that guy asked, was weak spear versus upgraded spear? Considering that you can upgrade the weak spear, which one is objectively better? The upgraded spear is better by a mile. As for throwing, they both do the same damage regardless of what's on them. Obviously, you can get the incendiary spear where you upgrade the upgraded spear. Obviously, that does more damage, but throwing damage is exactly the same otherwise. Weak Spear is terrible with upgrades. It's the worst weapon in the game to upgrade, so we'll save your upgrades to something better. David asks, do you think the devs will ever expand the map or possibly make a sandbox mode where the map is random? I don't know. This would have to be with the Unity engine coding. I don't know if they can do a random map generator. They might be able to, but you're probably going to get stuck a lot and there'll be issues there. But I think fan-made maps will come out. That will be a thing, but not in the forest itself. MK Games, do cannibals take fall damage? Yes, but it's really complicated. They have to fall very far and you will never see it without mods. Also, do you think the game map should be bigger and maybe some new biomes like the jungle, exotic islands? I'd agree with the islands, exotic islands, that would be good. I don't think they fit more biomes unless they just fit more content in it. They don't need a bigger map. They need more content in the map itself that they've already got. That's how they'll fix it. But yeah. Nico Raman asks, after you leave a cave without killing all the cannibals, they are trying to find you because it's happening every time to me. I'm not sure how the cave systems work between the cave cannibals and the above ground ones. So, sorry, can't answer that one. Anime Boy, how old are you? Specifications to your PC and how to improve FPS in the forest. I'm 29. Specifications on my PC, they're in the description of my videos. And how to improve the FPS in the forest, I would just tone down settings. Also, play around with HBAO and SSAO settings. I think you might notice some great improvement there if you have a bit of a play. Pillar, I can't pronounce that. How long has it been when you have built pre-made houses like the big ones that take 86 logs? How long ago was it? A very long time ago. They're such a waste that it's not funny. I do not recommend you build them. Though if you are a beginner, definitely recommend it. Can take the stress away because custom building when you first start is hard. Hero Nerd, why armsies and Virginias go around in couples and why some armies have babies with them? I've got no idea. I think it's just the way it is. It's not just armsies and Virginias. Sometimes you get cowmen, it's just randomly assigning it. I don't think there's any particular order to it. Nikita Buckharan, my question about the game is, why did I get attacked by armsies on day 7? I was casually walking around the lake between Cave 2 and they saw a patrol consisting of 2 armsies and 4 cannibals. The cannibals didn't notice me, but the mutant did. Yes, it is possible to come across them above land, and it is around day 7 that they do appear. I'm not sure why the armsies noticed you and the cannibals didn't. I really don't know because I haven't got eyes. Yes, they do appear above land after day 7. I don't know how to pronounce that. An armsy in Virginia are next to my base. I have saved and quit. Help. Once you get back into the game, they despawn. This is actually a very good technique. If you can't deal with the armsies or Virginias, just save and exit and come back in. And all the cannibals and mutants despawn. They'll respawn elsewhere. It's actually a really good tactic, especially if you're just not in the mood to deal with them or if they're too many. TIE Fighter, do you think they should add a kick to the game? It would be cool. Yes, I think that would be cool. Whether they could do it or not, that's a bit different. That will take a bit of coding. Rory Lumsden, can you give some tips on starting playing? If you start at a certain point, which direction can you go to find the modern axe? Unfortunately, you start in a different spot each time you do start the game. So there's no real way around it. However, it's just a matter of finding landmarks. A good solution is to run in one direction until you get to the coast and then run along. Eventually you'll find somewhere that seems familiar to you. That's what I would do. Soft baked cookie always gets sick or infected in the game when I use aloe or sleep, but it doesn't go away. What should I do? Sounds like a bug. Verify the game's cache within Steam. If it is going away or it's just happening very frequently, good words, I would avoid getting covered in blood and don't eat spoiled meat. And I think cannibal limbs and mushrooms, poisonous mushrooms, can do it, as well as twin berries, so avoid those things. Jonas, hello Farket, I'm a big fan of your channel. Cheers. Would be great to see you playing live with other players. Yeah, it's on my cards. It's on my list of things to do. Just haven't done it. Tony, first of all, great job. Cheers, really appreciate it. I'm sorry, I don't seem very enthusiastic. It's voice is starting to get to me. The questions are, it's pretty basic, but why are you destroying the fires you would build? Even though you eliminated all the threats in that area, is there any reason besides internet connection that you would have started streaming? My internet connection, I've got the best one you can get. I've got a fiber to home NBN, which is the best internet you can get. It's where the fiber optic cables go directly to your home. So it's not that, it's just I'm not very educated and I need to work on my environment, my home environment. I've got to set it up so I can do it without being disturbed. As for destroying the fire, I remove assets that I'm no longer going to be using. See, the more buildings you place, the longer the game is going to take to load. You want to reduce that as much as possible. And the more assets the game has to load, the more it's going to slow it down. You want the game to be running as smooth as possible, especially with me. I record at 4K, running at 4K. I need to make sure it stays as smooth as possible. And I would recommend you do it anyway. If you're never going to use the fire, destroy it. And it's only a simple fire. Remove assets if you're not going to use them. Stuff, ask a question. Good name, Stuff. It seems you spend a lot of time playing this game. Do you prefer it in some ways to real life? I actually don't play the game as much as you think I do. But yeah, I've got no real answer for that. It's escapism. That's what it is. That's why we play games. And I only play the Forest. I'm not playing any other games at the moment. So yeah. Garth, is it possible to build traps into walls to kill cannibals? Yes, you have to build them first. You have to build the wall and the trap at the same time, then complete them both. But if one gets destroyed, it can make it difficult to place the next. Traps that are best is Deadfall Trap because they're the cheapest and they kill mutants, whereas the other ones don't. Yes, go Deadfall Traps. They are the best. Ditha, what is your favorite location for getting precious resources in the forest? And how your first playing reaction about the forest? Best location is completely depending on what I need. The main cannibal village is always a great one. And especially when you go inside the little cave spot, there's heaps of booze down there and I love my booze. Use it for so many things. But Cave 7, where I've been doing in my playthrough, there's got a lot of rope where I've set up the zip line. That would be my next probably. And reaction first playing, the forest is good, but scary. Quadras, I can't pronounce that. You run the wiki? Yes, I do. Can you reset cannibal hostility in presence? No. Save and exit, that's the best thing you can do. Tismac, I don't have backslash on my keyboard. What does it do? It shows your arm. It's just this weird feature they've put in the game. So like you can see if you're cold or if you're covered in blood. That's all it does. But you can't change the key within the options. It's not listed there. It's like a hidden feature. That's all it does. You could probably do it in multiplayer a lot to confuse you, the other players you're playing with. Nightmaster, how far can a zipline go with clear distance can go besides a sinkhole? Too hard to tell. It's all based on how long the rope is. 30 ropes maximum, and I don't know how long a section of rope is. Just run it until it goes red. If you want it to go further, you have to install Ultimate Cheat Menu. Master Piops. Question, when you put leaves in the fire, does it increase the speed of cooking meat? No, it doesn't. It just keeps the fire burning longer. It's useful for when it's raining. It's basically fuel. Just use a drying rack. B. Smith, a video on where the best spots to build. Yeah, I'll get working on it soon. It's just, I want to give the right information. Just don't build where I've built in my playthrough. It's too hard. Eric Oldland, question, where did the booze bottles from your What's Underwater video go? I tried to find them to make Molotovs, but they're nowhere to be found. I think they're still there, but you can only collect them once, I think. They don't respawn. That's why I keep going to the main cannibal village and just in the entrance there's heaps of booze. So that's where I've been getting my booze from now on. Go there. I don't know if they've been removed though. Miles asked, what is your best take on the story of Mutants? I think I've already covered that. I don't really know that much. And when did they start running like the Flintstones when viewed at a distance? Yeah, I noticed this. I'm not sure, but it's funny. Yeah, it's good. Soft baked cookie, if you could add one item to the forest, what would it be? I'm just going to say a spear gun that you can shoot fish underwater and sharks and crocodiles. They need some way that you can get fish underwater and to fight off those nasties. So Manu, is it better to build one giant base or have multiple bases on the map? I'd say giant base. That's just a personal preference. If you need materials between the two, you have to go in between the two. It's just a pain in the ass. Might not be a pain in the ass for you. You might enjoy the trouble. Kalish Qatar, if I'm pronouncing that right, in your video you will talk about fighting like a god. You're able to walk and sprint whilst power attacking, whereas I cannot do that. My character freezes. That is something Mod API does, and I had no idea. And it was extremely frustrating because I used to play with Mod API on, but I never used the mods. The reason being was because the game was really buggy at that stage and you used to get flung into the air and all that sort of stuff. So I just used to have it on, and then I adapted and I didn't even realize that that was a thing. So no, you can't move without Mod API. I just had no idea that the Mod API Ultimate Cheat menu was doing that. So frustrating. Though it's still a good way to play. You just can't move around. So what you do is that when they're coming at you, you dodge and move around behind them and just bring the axe down. They don't move out of the way most of the time when you do that. So apologies, I should have rectified that. Stepwise Urchin, is it possible to move the soda machine and snack machine to your own home? No, you cannot, unfortunately. It'd be funny if you could though. MCAB on the side no backslash doesn't seem to do anything. I didn't think that different keyboards would do different things, but it just checks your arm. I covered it a little bit earlier. Unknown announcement, I know you covered the patrol routes. Past video was slightly confused, but overall it's good and helpful. So my question is, yeah, I'm confused still too. Doesn't help. So are there any patrol routes or crossovers near the Sacred Tree, near the Yacht? No, I think it's just one solid one. There's no crossover. Though you could always get a designated attack. Corey Reeves, is there a way to light the tennis ball on fire without burning your hands? No, there's nothing. Sorry. Tashila, I think that's right. Why do you speak sometimes German, and what do you know about our cool language? I know very limited. I really don't know that much. I just speak it because I've got a fair few German subscribers, and I don't know, I like speaking it occasionally. Built into my brain, I can't get it out, so. Rock Brosnski, I need to know some of the hotkeys, copying blueprints. Copying blueprints, you just hold down Control while you're placing them. That's your crouch key. And it's a way to not smash the E key. Yes, I did a video on it. It's about assigning hotkeys. It depends on your keyboard, or if you could get some hotkey software. Basically, it presses it every 20 milliseconds. So very fast, but no, not in game. You have to do it yourself using another program. Nibble Collector, good landmarks to know where to go to memorize locations. It's up to you what you remember. Certain things are going to stand out to you that wouldn't stand out to me, and vice versa. So just go with what you can remember and connect the dots. I covered this before, but it's like a puzzle. The more pieces you have, the easier it gets. What's your opinion on the extra ending scenes? It's terrible. I covered this on a video, but yeah, I didn't like it. Also, read the comments of that video too, because a lot of people had some really cool and interesting things to say, perspectives that I just didn't think of. So yeah, definitely read the comments. How many hours do you have in the forest? Oh, about 900 and something. Most of it's come from making videos, and I stand in the game when I'm away from the computer. That's where most of them come from. Unleashed X, if you had to design a new mutant, how would it look like? I would probably go with something that can use a ranged attack. Something that spits at you. I think that would be cool. Whether it gets you infected or not, I don't know. But yeah, something that's ranged. And probably not ranged that it can damage your buildings, because I think that would cause problems. Terra 2.0, suggest me great fucking defense wall. I hate those cans. Love from Malaysia. I think just build a solid wall and build deadfall traps along it. That's the best wall you can build in the game. Or just build it far away so they don't come in. It's another solution. Just relax, make a tutorial on how to enable cheats in the forest. There is console commands, but mod API. My tutorial on that's still up and it's still valid. That will still work. I recommend that. Let's see all pro. Farket, sometimes I can't join my friends on the forest. Please tell me why. I have no idea. I've experienced the same bug. My advice is verify the game's cache, or just enter and exit. I'm not sure why this is, to be honest. Nibble Collector again likes asking questions. How to start playing on hard for the first time? Get a houseboat. That's what I recommend. Just hit spots and warm up to the Cannibals. Don't just jump in the deep end. Crimson, what's the highest Dave you've ever been on? I think 150 or something like that. You do get bored of your games and you will start again. Glacial Jew, does the great god Farket play any other game of the forest and one stranded deep? Not at this stage. I do play a lot of other games, but not at this stage. Tone Guys asks, no idea that you actually run the wiki. Props to you. My question is, would you flesh out the story for the forest even more? Yeah, I do run the wiki. Cheers. As for the flesh out the story, I don't know. I think they're doing well with it. They're not giving it to us on this big heaped platter. They're giving it to us by bits and pieces. But I covered this before, referencing Game of Thrones. Game Boy, I would like to know what triggers mutant spawn. Random, completely random. Mutant spawn randomly at a certain amount of time. I think it's every 3 minutes more will spawn. Is there any reason a specific mutant spawns? No, completely random once again. The difficulty of the Cannibals obviously gets harder with the time that goes on. So on day 7, mutants will spawn, for instance. All these mutants are triggered by completely random stuff. Nothing in particular will trigger them. It's all random. Laura Brett, I think that's it. 5 things you would love if this game removed and 5 things you would love if they added. I covered some of the stuff I want them to add. 5 things I would want them to remove is, I would say, the stunting effect you get from power attacks. If you're about to bring the power attack over their head and you get hit, it cancels it, which is really bizarre why it does that. I'd like them to remove the inability to move while using a power attack. I would actually like to see an overall balance of power attacks. I think that would be great. But I can't think of other things. There's a lot of things in the game that I wish you could just remove, like the boulders and a lot of other objects that just block your thing. They block your way to build. Master Poopsop. God, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Do you think this game needs more optimization? Yes, I do. You should be able to remove a lot of the shadows and things like that. Also to change the colors a bit more. The color gradings are very limited in what they can do. John H, what are your top 3 or 5 weapons? I'll go top 3. I would say the modern axe, tennis racket, and the upgraded stick. Aiming potato, if the stone wall has more hit points than the wood wall. Yes, it does. It has quite a bit. Whether it's the defensive wall though, with the upgraded defensive wall reinforcement, I'm not sure. But yes, rock walls are better because I don't think cannibals can damage them. But they take a lot longer to build and so and so. Vixen, plenty of questions. Oh, this is a big one. How much range does a crafted bow? I can't say that. The skinning arrow before grabbing the arrow, make the arrow vanish. It can, it's best to grab the arrow beforehand. Arrows don't stay poison after you retrieve them. If you unlit a fire arrow, will it still become a normal arrow when you retrieve it? If you fire, it turns back into a normal one. Spears, what's the distance range on them? They're both the same distance. Any difference aiming uphill or downhill? No, not really. Difference in aiming while crouching? I don't think so. How many weak spears does it take to kill a cannibal? Well, when thrown, they do the same amount of damage as the upgraded spear, and it's not affected by strength. Depends on the cannibal. Painted cannibals take 5 on hard mode. Do thrown upgraded spears one hit cannibals? Depends. Skinny cannibals, it might kill them, and it doesn't matter if they're upgraded or not. And obviously they have more hit points in hard mode, so they're going to take more. And same with hard survival. Do 5 upgraded spears mean instantly cook a deer? I don't think so. I'd have to check that one out. I haven't done the check. Resources, how quickly do birdhouses gather feathers? I don't know. I think it's random. Just build heaps and you'll have your bases covered. How long does it take for rain to fill up water catcher? It takes about 5 minutes, depending on it. The problem with rain is that it comes in light, medium, or heavy. The heavier the rain, the more it fills up. How long does this water and water catchers last? It takes about 2 days to evaporate. Do you get a certain amount of drinks from water skin pot fills? Yes, you do. It's the same. It depends on your water. So like if you're at 50% thirst and you drink, it uses 25%. Where are the different animals found? I would recommend going to the forest map for that one. Which shores have turtles and others? That's a forest map question as well. There's too much to list. Exploration, which caves are safe? None are safe, but some are safer than others. How many of the caves have mutants? All of them do. Yeah, all these exploration questions, it's best to go to the forest map. I can't really answer them. Not off the top of my head anyway, and it's trying to explain it with words is too difficult. I don't know how to pronounce that. What is the best weapon in the game? Modern axe, by far. Batgirl, can we see your face one day? I've got no objections to it. I think Shadowplay asked the same question. Just that I don't know if it serves a purpose. Maybe one day. Carlton Clements, are you right-handed or left-handed? I'm right-handed. And yes, Shadowplay, yeah, can you do a face reveal, Daddy? One day. Barmas, how accurate is the gun? Yeah, it's relatively accurate. The bullets do curve, but it's not very much of a curve. VO, how do you make your intros? Code or just no clip? I'll just say no clip. I'll go with that. Thomas the Tank Engine, will you do a tutorial video based on your log catcher? I've been meaning to, but it's just really difficult. The thing is really hard to make. I will do a tutorial on it. The trick is you got to save every time you do something, just about. And I don't have any spare saves at the moment, so that's my issue. Jess Smith, what is the normal amount to be attacked in normal mode? Depends on your hostilities, and if you're building on a patrol route, that's pretty much completely it. Don't build on a patrol route and try not to piss the locals off. That's about as much as I could say, really. If that's too much, might have to start again if it's too bad. Frey the Ranter, Farket, ASMR. Yeah, I don't even really know about that stuff, to be honest. Like, people mention that I've got an ASMR voice. I don't really know much about it. I don't do it on purpose. It's just the way my voice is. I wouldn't even know where to start or what to do, honestly. No idea. Made in USA. Oh, get it? Made in USA. That's clever. What's your favorite band? I would probably go with Rammstein. Though I like heaps of different music. I'm actually not that into heavy metal. Rammstein's an odd one for me. Andrea, where are you from and why is your voice so calming? I'm actually from New Zealand. I'm not actually Australian, though I live in Australia. I don't get in the whole Australia versus New Zealand thing. I think both countries are great and they both got their great values. Why is my voice so calming? That's a long story, but resonance and diaphragm breathing is the way to go. It would take too long to explain otherwise. Kevin Flame, where is the best location to build and which starting crash site is the best? It depends on where you're building. If you want the plane nearby, obviously that's helpful. As to where to build, I've got to do a video on that. Les Kenner, but is there any setting in the game that can change so you can see clearly underwater? When I go underwater, it's very blurry. Put the ocean quality down to flat. You'll see a lot better. And the game will run better too, so it's a nice little double whammy bonus. Yeah, sorry if I couldn't get to the rest of your questions or just too much. Hopefully though I answered other questions, but don't take it personally if I didn't answer your question. I've been talking for a very long time and I'm starting to lose my voice, so I want to keep it. So sorry if I didn't get to your question. I didn't realize how hard it would be to answer all these questions, but yeah, I'm losing my voice right now because I've been speaking for over an hour. Anyway, hopefully I'll do another video in the future, but if you got comments, still ask away in my videos. Hopefully I should be able to answer them. And if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Cheers.